Hi, thank you for joining and taking part in the Financial Aid and Next Steps webinar for on-campus undergraduate new students. This is a great resource to kind of get you going as you're going through the next steps of becoming a new student here at Hope International University and as you're navigating the financial aid process. So we will go ahead and get started. A little bit about myself. My name is Michael Cruz. I serve as the Director of Undergraduate Admissions here at Hope International University. Just a little bit of background about myself. I actually live down in Dana Point with my wife Chelsea and my little dog there, Raya. And we are actually, exciting news, expecting our first child, baby girl, due in May. So we're very excited about that. I love sports, grew up playing baseball, played baseball in college, and still a big baseball fan, but love all sports, love going to games, love playing, and just living an active, healthy lifestyle. And if I leave you with one thing today, is no matter what, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you got to have hope. And this is one of my slogans, and something that's a little cheesy, given that our name is Hope International. But I think it keeps us locked in on what God has for us, and the hope that God provides for us keeps us optimistic and positive through the hard times, especially one that we're all going through right now with the coronavirus, the pandemic. A lot of uncertainty, but we can be confident in God's plan and know that God's still in control. So a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be looking forward to, even because we will get out of this current moment in time. But once again, this kind of PowerPoint is really designed to go over the financial aid process here at Hope International University. So in this presentation, we will give you a general overview of the financial aid process. We'll really break down the financial aid process here at HIU. So we'll talk about tuition, fees, scholarships, and other types of aid, including all the federal financial aid that's out there. And then we'll also discuss how to complete the process here at HIU to actually get into classes and finish the financial aid process. And then finally, we'll end the PowerPoint looking at next steps for new students, some important dates, and some invites to some upcoming events as well. So when talking about financial aid, the process all starts with the FAFSA. So you've probably heard of the FAFSA before, but it stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And what the FAFSA is, it's an application, as stated in the title there. It's an application for you to submit that will determine how much government financial aid you might qualify for or be eligible for. So what the FAFSA does, it looks at your overall situation, but really taking into consideration your financial situation for the given year that they're looking at, the number of people in your household, and a variety of factors that go into the FAFSA. And what the FAFSA ends up giving you once you complete it is an expected family contribution, or also known as the EFC. And the EFC is very important because this number is actually what they use, the main factor in what they use to determine whether you qualify for grants. And we'll talk about grants in more detail in a little bit, but the EFC is really one of the determining factors in your ability to receive financial aid. And when you complete the FAFSA, it's very important to be exact when completing all the different things they're asking for, a lot of which is financial information. So the FAFSA actually looks at the prior year for the year that you're applying for. So if you're thinking about transferring, or if you're a first-time freshman and you plan on starting school this coming fall, the fall of 2020, then the FAFSA will be looking at your 2018 tax returns and tax situation, financial situation, family situation. So they're really looking at what your life was like in 2018 to determine how much aid you'll be receiving for the 2020-2021 school year. Now back to the EFC, expected family contribution. This is the main factor in your eligibility for grants. and for federal financial aid, really. So, just to break down the three main types of financial aid that are out there. So, each column here represents like a silo or represents a type of financial aid that's available to you. The first is federal financial aid, and that is a direct result of the FAFSA. The second is institutional aid. So that would include a scholarship, whether that be an academic scholarship or an athletic scholarship, and also institutional grants. So some schools offer these, some don't. Here at Hope, we actually do have a Hope grant that some students can qualify for. Not all do, but it is a grant that is there for some students. And we actually utilize the EFC to determine whether a student would qualify for that grant or not. And then lastly, the final type of aid is a private, either scholarship, a private loan from like your personal bank, or if you have a donor, or maybe if your parent or you are employed by a company who has some sort of tuition reimbursement program, then that would be an example of private aid. So these are the three types, but just to really, on this slide, I really want to focus on the federal financial aid. And those come in two main forms. They come in the form of a loan, a student loan, or number two, a grant. So just to quickly break down the loans at Hope International, we would offer two types of loans. Most schools do it for undergraduate students, and you would be offered a subsidized loan and an unsubsidized loan. So these are two different loans, but they would equate your freshman year to equaling $5,500 that you'd be eligible to utilize in student loans. So we do cap it from year to year. So your freshman year, we cap your student loans at $5,500, and then it grows by $1,000 for each year. So when you become a sophomore, you would be able to take out $6,500 in loans. When you're a junior, you'd be able to take out 75, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the way it's scaled. And we do that just to ensure that we're doing our part in helping you stay responsible and not taking out too much in student loans. Because the last thing we want to do, we want to keep things affordable. Education is definitely an investment. So, and for some students, taking out a student loan is a wise decision, and it's one that's really, again, investing in their future. But again, just a very personal decision. So it's something you'd want to talk to your parents about, talk to the people in your life who are helping you make these decisions. But the two types of loans do have a big difference. So a subsidized loan is a loan where the interest does not begin to grow until after you graduate or you decide to leave school. So it actually doesn't begin growing until 6 months after you graduate or decide to leave school. So a subsidized loan in the long term will be the cheaper of the two. And that's because an unsubsidized loan the interest on that loan will start growing the day you take it out. So long term, that loan will be more expensive and you'll be paying back more money. With the loans, and we'll talk about this a little later, you don't have to take out the full amount. So if you're offered $5,500 your first year and you only need $3,000 maybe to cover tuition or to maybe for, living expenses, whatever it might be, you can only take out what you need. So that's something you'll want to determine when you're looking at your offered loans. It might be maybe you're getting offered $3,000 in a subsidized loan. It might be good if you are considering taking one out to just take out that subsidized loan if that's all you need. So those are some things to consider as you're going through the process. The other type of federal financial aid come in the form of grants. So the two main grants are the Pell Grant and the Cal Grant. So the Pell Grant, again, this one is determined on EFC. So if you qualify for the Pell Grant, it's because your EFC is either at or below a certain amount. And the amount is kind of on a sliding scale. So students who qualify for the Pell Grant will receive between $400 and $6,345 on a given year. So for the 2020-2021 school year, the maximum amount that a student can earn in Pell Grant from a private institution is $6,345. With the Cal Grant, this is a grant that's specific for California residents, so only California residents can qualify for this grant. They are merit-based grants, and then they are also looking at EFC. So, what the Cal Grant does for the Cal Grant A, the maximum award for students who qualify is $9,084. And the way you qualify for that is, again, it comes back to that EFC, but also your GPA in high school. So the Cal Grant GPA is looking at your sophomore and junior year, unweighted, and they're just looking at the GPA for those 2 years. And if it's above a 3.0, then you could qualify for the Cal Grant A alongside a certain EFC, which again will get you $9,084. The Cal Grant B is designed another form of a Cal Grant, again only reserved for California residents, but the GPA limit is lower on this one, so students need a 2.0 for the Cal Grant B, and they also need the EFC at a certain level. And if you qualify for this one, the Cal Grant B is designed as like a stepping stone. So what it does, it gets you about $1,600 your first year in college. So because your GPA may have been a little bit lower, it didn't reach that 3.0 mark, you might qualify for the Cal B. And the Cal B again gets you about $1,600 your first year. And then if you make positive progress towards your degree in your freshman year, and then you continue on your sophomore year in good standing, then your sophomore year, your amount would get bumped up to the full amount, and you would earn the $9,084 your sophomore year. So little bit of a difference there, but either way, if you qualify for the Cal Grant, that's a really good thing. And just one thing to note, if you do qualify for, like best case scenario, if you qualify for both the Pell Grant and the Cal Grant A and you get the full amount of each, that's over $15,000 in free money to attend Hope International that you don't need to pay back at a later time, and it goes directly towards your tuition. So just a great way to help pay for school and to keep things affordable alongside the scholarship that you'll be receiving from HIU. So again, great way to keep things affordable. So here are tuition and fees for the 2021 school year. Tuition is $33,250, and that's for full-time students. So what this allows you to do is take between 12 to 18 units per semester, or 24 to 36 units per year, and that it covers the tuition there. So definitely reserved for full-time students, but that is an annual cost. And in addition to that, you're looking at $1,200 in student fees. If you decide to live on campus, room and board this year is $10,750, and that includes our standard dorm room where there's 4 students to a dorm, and that also includes our standard meal plan, which is 15 meals per week. So the $10,750 is including, it's all inclusive in terms of your room and your meals. So a really affordable cost for Southern California in that regard. And then if you choose to have a car on campus, parking passes are $300. So if you're a student who kind of takes advantage of all of this and you are living on campus, full thing, you're looking at $45,500 for the school year. But that is before any type of scholarship or any type of financial aid. And everyone's situation will look a little bit different, because obviously everyone might qualify for a different scholarship, or everyone's financial aid package will be a little bit different. So just keep in mind, those factors. This is just a quick look at some quick facts about our average HIU student. So when we're thinking about making things affordable, our average scholarship that we award is $16,000. And with that, this last year, 1920, half of our students were Pell Grant recipients. About a third of our students were Cal Grant recipients. 22% had an EFC of 0. Why that's important, chances are those students are probably the ones who would have the best chance at qualifying for the maximum Pell Grant and Cal Grant. EFC below 13,000, 60% of our students had that, which would qualify them for the Pell Grant. And then another type of aid is the federal work study. 63% of our students were eligible for a federal work study, which allows them to work on campus and apply those funds towards their tuition. So another way to kind of bridge the gap between your financial aid and um, tuition and out-of-pocket costs. So students can work and they can kind of chip away at their tuition, throughout the year as well. All right, so just to break down the process here at Hope International, so you have more of a pathway, a clear pathway of how to get from point A to point B. So as we discussed, the first thing you'll have to do at Hope and any other school is complete that FAFSA. And you'll want to be sure to add HIU to your list of schools if you haven't done so already. Our school code is listed there at 001252. When you get back into the FAFSA, you would log back in and just go to your prospective list of schools and simply add HIU, save it, and resubmit it. And then that way, HIU will receive your FAFSA and will be able to provide a financial aid package for you. Step number 2, though, is that you do need to get accepted to HIU. So if you haven't completed the admissions process, definitely encourage you to get that done. If you've already completed the process and you've been accepted, then at this point we would have received your financial aid information from the FAFSA, and we would have been able to put together a financial aid packet, which we send through the mail and through email. And this will give you all the insight you need into your financial aid package here at Hope International. Included in your package will be an award letter, and that's number 3. So you'll want to review your award letter to understand which grants, loans, scholarships you're receiving, and also review the financial aid programs that you're qualifying for. So seeing exactly how much you're getting from Hope International on the award letter. And we're going to take a look at an award letter in a little bit too, just to really give you some instruction on that. But on the award letter, there's going to be a list of documents that you'll need to submit to HIU's Student Financial Services Office. So that'll be kind of a good starting point for you to take on those next financial aid steps. Number 5, you'll want to identify and sign, then submit your award letter to agree and accept the awards offered. So if you choose HIU as the college you're going to be attending in the fall, this is a step you'll want to complete. You'll want to sign, submit, and agree and accept to the awards that are being offered. And we'll talk about that again when we review the award letter together. In some cases, students may, after their scholarship, their financial aid, they might not have a balance towards their tuition or fees. In other cases, you do. So you might have a balance, especially if you might be living on campus. There'll be a balance left over that you will have to pay out of pocket. And you could pay that either in one lump sum or in a set of payments. So we do offer interest-free payment plans that you could take advantage of. And if this were the case for you where you did have a balance, you would then be sent a fee schedule that would outline your balance up to that point and give you the options on whether to enroll into a payment plan or just pay off the balance right then and there. So if you have a balance, you will be presented with a fee schedule, and that would kind of be the 6th step in the process, is submitting that fee schedule. Once that's completed, then the financial aid process is finalized and you'd be set and ready to register for classes. We got some early registration days planned in the summer, and that would be really your first opportunity to get into classes for the fall. And then once we hit August, we got Welcome Week, new student orientation, and you begin your first day as a Royal on August 19th. So big day, but that's the general financial aid process in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and review an award letter. So everyone who's been accepted, submitted their FAFSA, will be receiving an award letter. And again, this is the document that Hope International sends to outline what scholarships a student might be getting, grants, loans, and this is where you really start the process and really understand what the financial picture is going to look like for you. So when we're looking at an award letter, all financial aid actually gets broken up into 2 semesters. So that's kind of where you see the fall 2020, 2021 fall, and then the 2020-2021 spring. And then you see your total numbers. So if you're thinking you're going to qualify for a Dean Scholarship, for example, which is awarded at $16,000, the total would equate to that 16, and then it would get broken up over the 2 semesters because the semesters technically are charged separately. Um, but you can pay them over the span of the full year. And we'll talk about that in a little while as well. So here's a kind of a good example of an award letter because it gives us a lot of examples here. So pretty much most types of aid that you might receive is actually listed on this award letter. So the student is getting our Avid Scholarship or the Dean Scholarship at $16,000, and it's awarded at $8,000 per semester. The student also qualified for the Cal Grant A, and it looks like the student is getting the full amount of $9,084. So once again, that gets broken up into 2 semesters. Just to sneak down real quick to the last item here, the Pell Grant. So it looks like the student also qualified for the full amount of the Pell Grant. So she's got a pretty good financial aid package here, and once again, that gets split between the 2 semesters. And then finally, the loan. So the student is being offered a $3,500 subsidized loan. And again, the subsidized is the one where interest starts to grow after you graduate or after you leave college. And then the student's also being offered a $2,000 unsubsidized loan, where if they take this loan out, interest will start to grow right away, same day. So this is the general outline. This is what the award letter looks like. And this is just a great example because you see a lot of different scenarios here. This student is also being offered the federal work study. So it doesn't get applied to tuition right away because, they do got to work. So $3,000 of the work that they put in their given job will go towards their tuition. So just, again, another way to bridge the gap. As we discussed earlier, the award letter outlines the list of documents that a student might need to submit. So here they are here. A lot of different documents. We'll also follow up just with a list of documents that you might have to submit, but it's very important to work with your financial aid counselor or student financial services counselor here at Hope to help you navigate this process and help you get all these documents submitted. Not everyone is going to have these lists of documents. This is definitely, a larger list than what we typically see, but this is a good example of what could be submitted. In addition to that, one thing to note, so these 2 documents here, the direct loan master promissory note and the entrance loan counseling, these are 2 requirements that are done online on the studentloans.gov website. And they're actually more of educational pieces that really instruct students about the ins and outs and educate students about the details of taking out a student loans, paying them back, what the different scenarios are. And then the direct loan master promissory note is a contractual agreement saying that you do plan to pay back the loans if you take them out. If you plan on utilizing loans, these 2 are required. If you know you're not going to take out loans, then you actually don't have to complete these, but we still recommend that you do because, again, they are good educational tools, and it's also a good backup to complete these because you never know what the future holds. And if we get to January, February, and you think you want to utilize student loans at that time, then you'd actually have the requirements ready and completed. So you could then just simply take out the loans and request them and move forward. But again, just good educational tool. And by completing these, you're actually not committing to anything. You're not signing up for anything. You're simply just educating yourself and getting some documents done just in case. But again, if you do plan to take out loans, then these 2 documents or items are required. So something to take note of there. So the award letter is actually a 4-page document. Gives you a lot of different insight into the details of the award letter, some details about the fee schedule if you're going to have to complete one of those, the details in academic progress, So simply put, just you got to continue getting good grades in order to qualify. You got to have above a 2.0 in order to stay eligible to receive financial aid from Hope and from any institution. Um, Breaks down payment plans a little bit, but the main thing I want to touch on is the final page of the award letter, because this is the one that you're actually going to sign and submit, as we see here. And this is the document that you're actually going to outline which um, financial aid items you're going to accept and which ones you're going to deny. So it's a pretty straightforward document. So say if you're not planning to take out loans, all you need to do in that case is simply just cross them out, write declined next to it, and then sign it and submit the document. That's it. If, say, maybe you want to take out a $2,000 subsidized loan instead of $3,500, all you would do is put a line through the unsubsidized loan because you want to deny that one. And then what you'll do here is you actually cross out the $3,500 and you'll write in $2,000 for the loan that you want to take out. And you make that adjustment, you sign, submit it, and then you're good to go. So this document really is as simple as it comes. So if you want to accept something, just leave it as is. If you want to deny, put a line through it. If you want to adjust, then outline those changes as necessary. But pretty straightforward on this one. And you got some additional instruction here if needed. So, but this just gives you a good look into the award letter, the ins and outs, and kind of what you need to do. But this document does need to be submitted. This one is a required document for all Hope International students because this really tells us whether, or should I say how much you plan to utilize and which ones you want to take. So very important document here. All right, so once you get the financial aid process completed, then you're getting ready to be a Royal. So first day of school is August 19th. It's a Thursday, but you got some documents and some other things you'll need to complete in addition to the financial aid process before then. So just to go through that again, if you haven't done so already, you'll want to pay your enrollment deposit. So those are generally due by June 1st, but it's definitely a good idea to get those in as soon as possible, just to hold your spot for the upcoming fall semester. For those of you who haven't completed the FAFSA yet, you'll want to get that done. You'll want to review the financial aid packet and award letter, which we discussed. And I can't stress this enough. I do ask that every one of you, schedule a one-on-one meeting with your financial aid counselor. We have two counselors for our undergraduate students. Their names are Caitlin Giamarino and Pamela Perez. They kind of split the students by last name, so that's kind of your marker with who you anticipate or who you know is going to be your financial aid counselor. If your last name starts with A through L, you'll be paired up with Caitlin Giamarino. And if your last name starts with M through Z, you'll be paired up with Pam Perez. But they're there to really help support you, walk you through the financial aid process, and just be an overall resource for you to get the process completed. In the meantime, you could also submit your on-campus housing form. So if you plan on living on campus, we have our application ready to go. That was sent out to everybody a few weeks ago. If you need that, just let me know. You can also get it at the website here, www.hiu.edu/undergrad-housing. But you can just go ahead and download the form, but you'll definitely want to get that application submitted to get priority kind of housing assignments. So if you do plan on living on campus, encourage you to get that submitted as soon as possible. And we also have early registration days coming up. So this is your first crack at getting into courses and getting registered for the fall semester. If you're a transfer student, we've got our first one coming up on June 12th at 9 a.m. And if you're a first-time freshman, your early registration day will be a few weeks later, Friday, June 26th at 9 a.m. But really great opportunity to get connected with other new students. We kind of make a little day out of it, so you'll get connected with faculty, with some professors, current students, other new students. So just a really good day overall, and definitely encourage you to attend that. And you can go ahead and actually RSVP today by clicking that link there. And then one important thing to note, so everyone needs to get their official transcript submitted by Welcome Week or New Student Orientation. Welcome Week starts on August 15th. That's a Saturday. And we'll also host New Student Orientation that day. So we do ask that you get those official final transcripts submitted by that day. And then on that day, Saturday, August 15th, is actually when you'll move into your dorm room. Welcome Week will start, new student orientation takes place, and it's just an amazing day. And it kind of kicks off the next week as that whole week is full of events for new students. And it all kind of leads up to the start of school on August 19th, which is a Thursday. Actually, it's a Wednesday, pardon me. But yeah, that's kind of the new student next steps process in a nutshell, and some good things to take note of as you're going through. And here's just a list of some upcoming dates and events coming up. So we actually have a major spotlight event coming up. We had it planned for April 23rd. With everything that's going on, we may have to postpone it, but no matter what, it's going to be an online event. So we're going to host a webinar, and we'll have some details for that as soon as they become available, but I'll make sure everyone gets that information. And then once again, early registration days are coming up in June. One thing to note is that we are offering a early class for all of our new students for the fall. So if you want to get 3 units and get a class completed before school even starts, you could take Jesus in the Gospels, which is one of the required biblical studies classes that all students take. It's actually a 2-week intensive class, so it starts August 3rd, goes through the 14th, and you would actually be on campus every day for about 3 to 4 hours. The class is long, but it is an intensive, and it is a 3-unit class, so they're working to get the work that you would typically get done in a 16-week course. They're working to get that done in a 2-week course, so it's definitely a lot, but it helps you get 3 units under your belt, and I think would be a good thing to kind of get integrated with the community. You can kind of look at it as a like a very short summer class, if you will, but just an effective way to get a head start. And then just to reiterate, Welcome Week and New Student Orientation starts August 15th. That's a Saturday. And the first day of classes is actually Wednesday. It's Wednesday, August 19th. So a lot to look forward to, a lot coming up. And we definitely look forward to having you become a Royal, be on campus fall 2020, and we look forward to seeing you there. If you have any questions, please email me at macruz@hiu.edu. I'm completely here to support you all. And again, just look forward to welcoming you onto campus, hopefully for an early registration day, and definitely in the fall for the first day of school and for Welcome Week. But thank you for joining today. I hope this was a helpful resource, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a great day.